The Cold War was a time of great tension. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a struggle for global dominance. This struggle played out beneath the waves. Submarines became critical weapons, striking silently and without warning. Both superpowers raced to build advanced submarines, seeking speed, stealth, and depth. The Soviets focused on titanium for its strength. Titanium promised deeper dives and faster speeds. The US took a cautious approach, recognizing titanium's challenges. Titanium was difficult and expensive. The US Navy stuck with reliable steel. This reflected the broader strategies of the two superpowers. This contest impacted submarine design and highlighted the choices in a global arms race. The Sierra II-class submarine was a testament to Soviet ambition. Its most striking feature was its titanium hull, giving it exceptional capabilities. It could dive deeper, move faster, and was more maneuverable than its steel counterparts. The first Sierra II submarine, Barracuda, was commissioned in 1990, followed by the Scoff. Building the Sierra II was no easy feat. Titanium required specialized welding techniques and equipment. The Soviets had to overcome numerous technical challenges and invest heavily in new infrastructure. The Sierra II was a formidable submarine, but also very expensive. The Soviet Union was already struggling economically by the time the Sierra II entered service. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the end of the Sierra II program. The two existing submarines were inherited by the Russian Navy. They remain in service today, a testament to their durability and the enduring legacy of Soviet engineering. Titanium, for all its advantages, presented significant hurdles. Welding titanium was a delicate and demanding process, requiring specialized equipment and highly skilled workers. Even slight imperfections in the welds could compromise the hull's integrity, leading to catastrophic failures at depth. The cost of titanium was another major obstacle, far more expensive than steel. This limited the number of submarines that could be built. The economic burden of titanium production contributed to the financial difficulties that plagued the Soviet Union in its later years. Maintenance and repair of titanium hulls presented their own complexities, requiring specialized facilities. This added further costs and logistical challenges to operating titanium submarines. The Soviet experience with titanium highlights the trade-offs inherent in pursuing cutting-edge technologies. While titanium offered significant advantages in submarine design, it came at a steep price. Section 4. Steel versus Titanium, A Tale of Two Navies. The US Navy watched the Soviet titanium experiment with interest. They needed a large, cost-effective fleet. Steel was cheaper, easier to work with, and a known quantity. Decades of experience made steel the practical choice, crucial for a global navy operating far from home ports. The contrasting approaches reflected different strategic needs. Section 5. Legacy of the Sierra II, A Technological Echo. The Sierra II-class submarines remain in service with the Russian Navy today. They are a testament to the engineering ingenuity of the Soviet Union. The Sierra II's titanium hull continues to impress even decades after its creation. These submarines serve as a reminder of the technological rivalry that defined the Cold War. The Soviet Union's pursuit of technological superiority came at a cost, straining their resources. The US Navy's more pragmatic approach, focusing on cost-effective solutions, proved to be the more sustainable model. Their steel-hulled submarines provided a reliable and adaptable platform for global naval power. The Sierra II-class submarines stand as a monument to a bygone era. They remind us that technological progress is not without its price and underscore the importance of strategic foresight and economic sustainability in an ever-changing world.